Hey, what's up? It's Ryan. Actually, hold on one second. Hey, what's up? It's Ryan. I'm here in my studio. I wanted to make a quick video talking about something I've been actually thinking about ever since this whole coronavirus thing started happening and the responsible social distancing that people have been doing to help flatten the curve. I was thinking, I'm a photographer. I like shooting people, shooting friends, shooting events, but during these times, we have to make sure to have that social distancing and be separate. So how do I take photos of models and friends and events, and what do? I can't stop being creative, but I want to be able to shoot photos, but also be responsible at the same time. So I thought to myself, what's the best way to do something like that? You know, a 50mm lens is great because you could do portraits, but you still have to be sort of close and in that 6-foot kind of window. And then a 35mm is good for street photography. But what if I wanted to do good shallow depth portraits and even some more full body photos, but still be socially responsible and keep in that social distancing bracket? That's where this guy comes in. This is my 70 to 200mm Mark III Canon zoom lens. Now this is a phenomenal, it's one of my favorite lenses that I have in my camera bag for my EOS R. It's got this great big lens on the front, and like I said, it goes from 70 to 200mm. It's actually phenomenal for portraits because when you do, it goes down to 2.8 f-stop, and when you're at that 2.8, and you take a photo of something, you get that really beautiful bokeh behind. These are actually a couple of photos I've actually taken with the camera and the lens. So I figured this is actually a great tool for a time like this when I want to take good portraits, but I also want to be responsible and keep that social distancing of 6 feet. So I took this, I called up my friend Melissa, who I've actually taken photos of before and have put on my Instagram, like a couple of these. And I said, why don't you get a mask, get some gloves, bring Guinness, her dog, and let's go to the park in Babylon, New York, and let's just take some photos. We're outside, so we're not around a lot of people. We're both wearing our protective masks and gloves, and we're keeping that 6 feet of social distance from each other. So we went to the park and we walked around. And every couple of feet, there was just something interesting. And then from there, we walked down the path a little bit more, and there were these two trees that kind of made like this nice little frame that I just had her stand in front of, and we took a couple of photos there, again, all with this lens. At that point, I was about, I'd want to say like 10 to 15 feet back, and was able to still get good portraits of her and her dog that were sharp and had a good shallow depth of field. And then after that, we kept walking down the trail that was on that road, and we came along, this really nice tree that had fallen over and made this like almost natural bench. So I had her sit down and then got down on my knees and took a couple of photos of her and her dog sitting there. Even the dog had a muzzle on, so he was being safe as well. And then right around the corner was this nice little like openness. It wasn't a huge open field, but it was this little piece of open grass in front of these bushes that I just thought, well, this would make a really good place for us to do some portraits. And I was still a couple of feet back to have a safe distance where I was able to get some portraits of her and some full body photos that came out really good. So the point of this whole thing was I wanted to be able to go out and take portrait photos of my friends and just other models, but I still wanted to make sure to be at a safe, responsible distance, especially with what's going on. So from that, utilizing this telephoto lens, I was able to take some really good portraits and even some full body shots of Melissa and her dog. So this is an incredible lens. I think it's about $1,200 to $1,800 right now. It's an EF mount, so I did have to purchase an adapter for it for my EOS R mirrorless Canon camera, but still, it is an incredible lens, and they actually have a newer revised version for the Canon EOS R mirrored cameras that I highly recommend as well. I actually would love to sell this and get that because it's much more compact and would fit in my bag better. But as I said, this was all about being socially responsible and still being creative in a time where we have to keep our distance to protect ourselves. So I hope you enjoyed these photos, and I hope that you learned that we can still take great photos of friends and of models and of family. We just have to make sure to use a lens that can do that. You can use something like a 24 to 105, anything that has a zoom on it so you can have enough feet back where you can be responsible enough to take photos of them, but also be far enough away where you don't spread any sort of sickness you may have. So go out there, get a lens, wash your hands, wear a mask, hit the subscribe button, leave a thumbs up and comment, and I will talk to you later.